afternoon. This is Chris Brecher with the Simpler Stocks free video for June 16, 2016. As you see, it's about 32 minutes after the bell. I've been doing the big old webinar today, been on live for 4 hours. 1 hour on simpler options and over 3 hours with the webinar. It's really fun. I love doing this, so I have no problem being on all day. I have the bigger problem is people having a problem with me being on all day and them having to listen to me. But to get in about the market today, we definitely had Janet Yellen talking today. Now, very interesting. I was just talking to John Carter about it. What happened the last time that Yellen talked? She sounded hawkish and the market went up. Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about in here. You had in May in here where she was hawkish and it went up. So it reacted good to bad news. Today, she sounded dovish and we went down. The market reacted bad to good news. That's a pretty bear sign because usually when it reacts the one day, it keeps going the next. So just keep that in mind in there. Other thing I wanted to mention in here was what the market did overall. So right now, I know you see that sell-off, and we'll talk about that in a minute. ES is down 4, NASDAQ down 15, Russell down only 30 cents. Bonds up 23, another flight to quality with gold in the bonds. You had crude oil down $1. You had the VIX down fractionally. Actually, it had a big rally back, which I'll show you. You know I like to show things visual. You have the transports again, which unfortunately Thinkorswim erased my transport average. Let me put this in here. But I can tell you, I think I know where it is. Down, up all of 4. That's what I thought in here. Like nice little sell-off on the close. So let me show you what I look at in the market. So a lot of people ask, I'm obviously in Austin now. I'm not in Jupiter, Florida, where I normally are. So what do I do in here? I usually have 7 or 8 screens up. Here I have 3. What I have is one screen of this. So what I have in here is I have the ESs on a 2-minute, NASDAQ, Russell. Now you might ask, why do you have all 3? Because sometimes one of these moves before the rest. Have the advanced decline, the ADD. This is the net of the New York advanced declines. The advances minus the declines. So you see it was up like 657. The VX, the volatility futures, the bonds. I have gold or dollar, and because it's in the news, I have the British pound. I just think it's important to have that up. So those are the 3 things I have up. Second thing in here, I'm constantly scanning the market. And I was showing this earlier, and thank goodness on the chat, John Carter got on there on this seminar and said, hey, look at what Chris is looking at on here. You have to understand, I'm looking at 10 million charts. Here's another 12 I'm watching, Apple, Tesla, and so on. Then you have over here the ESs. And on one of these, I saw this. Check out the ES is one of my favorite things on any chart is I'm like, the more times you could connect the dots, the more important. And I was pointing this out. Let me take off this all these moving averages so you can see what I'm talking about. It's easier to see if you sort of strip it down, so to speak. Right there is I saw this. The more times you could connect the dots, and thank goodness John Carter came in and said, hey, look at what Chris is looking at. The more times you could connect the dots, the more important. Don't think algorithms aren't targeting trend lines. Like I've said, algorithms are really simplistic, and a lot of times what they're doing is they have a simple like curve fitting algorithms, and the second it broke, that was it. So that's exactly what happened today. Look what some of these stocks did right on the close. Really impressive sell-off right here. Getting Apple, which actually looked bad before the market sold off, which in this webinar we were definitely talking about that, of how important it is that if you want to short a stock, take the one that's already weak. Right there looked bad. Tesla, forming a little ledge right there, worked great. Google was under everything already. And like I said, I already showed Tesla. Facebook looked lousy here and then fell apart. Priceline, same thing. IBM, same thing. All of them. Goes to show you that when the ESs sell off, it pulls most stocks down. So that's one thing to notice on here. Next thing is, where do we go from here, which is a great question. You have a lot of differing views in here. Number one, ES is on a daily. Still oversold. ES is on a 78, actually worked off the oversold. So they actually were here. This is one of my favorite signs. A lot of times, the first time something breaks over its ATR trailing stop in a downtrend, it creates overbought condition. That's number one. So it's usually a false breakup. That's number one. Let me take the squeeze and minimize it and show you the MACD. Number two in here, one of my favorite things, is when something gets overbought after it's been in a downtrend. That's called overbought in a downtrend. And then the last leg of the overbought is a negative divergence. I salivate for those kind of trades, and it worked beautifully. Now what you have to watch out is this. 2042, right in this area. Better hold there. That's number one. Number two, we have to watch the transports and the DAX and so on. That's number two. And the last is we have to just see what other kinds of news comes out. But first things first, see this nasty little sell-off? Watch this on a 15 and a 5 minute. 15 doesn't tell you a lot except it's oversold. Look at a 5. It better start rallying, or this is going to have another leg down. That would be another 10 points. So I'm definitely going to be watching that the next couple of days and watching stocks accordingly. So like you know, we have a $7 30-day trial, and I wanted to show you what this includes. Now, there are a couple of things in here I wanted to bring up. It includes this. The chat room, which is usually 9 to 10 in the morning. I'm off this week for 3 days, and I've had Eric, Purdy, David Starr, and Rocky Horner taking my place. And Eric did today, goes over a lot of codes. It was great. Premium video is more in-depth than what you're hearing now. We have the email alerts where I'll put out in the morning like 6 bullish stocks, 6 bearish stocks, index stocks, and unusual option activity. Now, last night, I only posted bearish charts because, believe it or not, I couldn't find that many bullish ones. So it's really nice in the corner of your eye how you see this on the right. Always makes me look a lot better when I only post bearish charts. Forum is more like a message board sort of way to exchange ideas. Meetup is about every week where I do a class, not really a class, but I've been doing it now in a live class, the last hour trading, where then we go over certain indicators. Next week, on June 22nd, we have the last hour. We're going to go over correlations in the market. Now, the best thing about this, I think an amazing value, is in that you get all the different videos. Look down here, and every time we put them in, they go in there, putting it all together. Talking about arbitrage, ATR trailing cross stop, 3 ways to trade, bull and bear flags, and so on. Really exciting stuff in there, and you get that with your subscription. As you see in here, $7 trial for access, and that gives you 30 days. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It should be a crazy next couple of days. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody have a great night. I will talk to you later.